Hey everyone, welcome to the Tom's Hardware Podcast for November 15th, 2022. As always, I'm Tom's Hardware Editor-in-Chief, Avram Pilch. I'm joined by Associate Editor Les Pounder, Raspberry Pi expert Ash Hill, and our two very special guests, James and Rob, who are here to talk about an incredible project that they did, an incredible Pi Star Trek project. How can you not love that? So, I just want to get straight to it because this is an amazing project. Um, Rob, what can you tell us about before we get started? Tell us about yourself and your project, and I love your background.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, hi, I'm Rob, known as Mihu on the internet, and actually, people don't know my name as Rob for the longest time until I recently started updating a project that I did 20 years ago, and I purposely tried to keep my name anonymous. Anyway, I'm an amateur web developer. I'm not a professional web developer, by the way. I do web for fun. I used to work as a web developer a while back when the internet is much simpler and less complex. And for this project, oh gosh, it was actually just a short project that was intended because I just want to do an MSD for the Cerritos from Star Trek Lower Decks, and one thing led to another. It became a full-blown website, animated with animated LCARS, and that's that. And then it was not even intended to be hosted on Pi, a Raspberry Pi. And then James contacted me, and I thought that was interesting, so I started to collaborate with him to put this project on the Pi, and that's it.
Wow, that is awesome. So, James, what about you?
So hi, I'm James. So yeah, I pretty much can you certify being a Raspberry Pi fanboy? I've been around for the beginnings. I've had the very first Raspberry Pis, and I've been a part of the community. I run a Raspberry Jam in Berlin on occasion, and yeah, and now I was just browsing the internet, and I'm a big fan of Lower Decks. And one day in Twitter, I saw this lovely LCARS system on a website, and I looked at it, and I was like, we've got to be able to put that on a Pi. I mean, if it can go on a website somewhere and it looks so slick, it's got to be able to go on a Pi. And then when it worked, we started working out, okay, what else can we do? And then it sort of branched off into there to kind of a nice little project.
Could one of you guys maybe explain to our audience who might not be familiar, what is LCARS referred to?
LCARS. What does it stand for? LCARS is actually a fictional UI, fictional user interface that was introduced way back on the television show Star Trek: The Next Generation. And LCARS stands for Library. Oh, help me out, guys.
Library Computer Access Retrieval System.
Oh man, you guys are too nerdy.
Just say it in unison, everyone.
Yeah, it was developed by Michael Okuda for Star Trek Next Generation as a way to have fantastic futuristic computer panels, but produced really cheaply with just plastic and gels that were lit from behind.
Yep.
So, what can you do with this LCARS interface? Like, what do you guys have a Pi handy you can actually show it on?
Actually, I could switch to a different camera and show you guys exactly what it will do.
That would be awesome. Let's do it.
Oh, that's the wrong camera. So here's the setup. I have the Raspberry Pi here, which is actually, maybe I will switch to that other camera. So I've got the Raspberry Pi here, which is got a Sense hat on it. So this has got the Raspberry Pi Zero at the background. You barely see it. There's also a Pico, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then there's the screen as well, which is just basically a Chrome in a kiosk mode. It's nothing. It's not serving it. It's the Pi Zero that's doing all the serving. So it has Flask already installed in it. What it does is it synchronizes the data. It shares variables between the server and the client. So if I were to do red alert on the screen, everything goes in red alert. There's actually turn off the light, and you can see that there's LEDs in the back of my monitor, and I can turn it off, and it's all synchronized. And there's other things I can do as well, which is change the color scheme of the LCARS. So if you've watched Lower Decks, you know that that the different ships, or the different Kali class ships, have different colors of LCARS systems, and also like this is the Picard theme for the LCARS system for the Picard series. So yeah, you can do that, and it's all synchronized between the server and the clients. The other thing, because I mentioned that it has, actually, I'll switch back to seeing me. So the other thing that it can do is, because it's got the Sense Hat connected to it, the Sense Hat's actually sending temperature, pressure, and humidity, and it's piping that as data towards to all the clients. So every now and again, there's like a little log in the side, and it will show the readings for what's coming off of the Sense Hat. And then just today, I added Pico support. So now that the Pico actually will take temperature readings from its own temperature sensor and send that to a socket to the server, then the server will then send it to the clients. And then there's like a little message that comes up that says a remote sensor has received it's received data from a remote sensor, and it gives you the temperature.
That is awesome. So that's Flask really just doing the web stuff.
Well, Flask's just serving the web page itself, but the Socket.io is doing all the communication, which is kind of like Socket.io is WebSockets essentially. It can be a separate application, but when you can tie it into Flask, it becomes really useful and really easy to code with.
That is awesome.
I really appreciate that you've got a touch screen connected, because in the show, these panels are touchscreen interfaces, and it has to be really satisfying, because I've only used a mouse so far to play around with this, but when you poke the red alert and then it goes off, that has to feel quite legit.
That works on your cell phone as well, so you can get your cell phone out and do the same thing.
Nice.
That is really cool. I would love to figure out how you can make that an operating system, like a shell for Linux or something.
Someone has got to have done that already.
With that.
Yeah.
There's got to be an Ubuntu remix somewhere that has that.
And in theory, you can also you could code Python live on a website. You can do terminal on a website as well. All you would need to do is have a little iframe in there somewhere, and you'll be able to use it as part of the LCARS system.
That is so cool.
That's amazing.
Well, actually, there is a shell. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, there's actually a Linux shell. Not me. And it was a develop. Well, I noticed on internet. It's also a guy from Germany, James. Somebody in Germany made a LCARS Linux shell. I think it's a Linux shell. I don't use. I didn't try it, but that's what I found out. He's on Twitter too. I'll try to find it later. Go ahead.
Cool.
Sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, the hats off goes to Rob for the artwork, the themes, the actual server, the actual website side of it. It's all his work and his art. It's absolutely sublime. It's fantastic, and it's been great to collaborate with him to open up the JavaScript functions that allow the Raspberry Pi just to poke at it and sort of send the commands to the JavaScript side of it.
And if you watch Lower Decks, there's tons of Easter eggs.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that show. I hope everybody here and everybody watching has watched all of the episodes.
Yeah.
Through the third season, as I have. And
Yeah,
I
have as well.
I love that show. I'm not sure that this third season was the best season. I kind of feel like, except for the Deep Space Nine episode, that was
That was good.
unbelievable.
Oh, cool.
But
I haven't seen that yet.
But talking of Easter eggs, though, I know Rob has put some Easter eggs in the Master Systems display for the Cerritos.
Yep.
You've put a rubber duck in there, haven't you, mate?
Oh, yes, I did. I have. The rubber ducky. Yeah, that was fun. Rubber ducky was actually originated from this book, or from Star Trek, the Next Generation, the Enterprise D's MSD. There's a rubber ducky in there. So it was Michael Okuda's idea. Michael Okuda is the creator of the LCARS, and so I just imitate that and put a rubber ducky on the MSD of Cerritos. And I think there is, well, if you watch this, well, I'm sorry, this might be a spoiler to Ash.
Go for it.
Well, actually, this might be from season 2 rather, or from season 1.
It's season 1. It's season 1. They refer to the rubber ducky room.
Yeah, there was a mention of rubber ducky room.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting. So rubber ducky becomes, in a way, canon on the show, if you consider Lower Decks canon. So
it's canon.
It's canon.
You've also got cetacean ops as well, haven't you?
I'm sorry?
You've got cetacean ops as well. The dolphins.
Yes. Yeah. It's actually, I didn't. To be honest, I didn't create those. I didn't create it from the beginning, from the LCARS look. It's actually a screen grab. When you watch the show, there's MSDs, there are tons of LCARS from the show. I just do screen grab and I piece it together and I try to trace them and recreated them. So some of the materials or the room, they were in it already. I was just replicating it. So.
Yeah. It started off as I think it was a joke by Rick Sternbach, who said that bottlenose dolphins were in charge of navigation on the Enterprise, and it just sort of stuck.
Oh.
And now it's canon. Weirdly,
I didn't know that. It was Rick.
Apparently, yeah. He was a fan. There was a manga that he used to watch, and it had elements of this image dolphins with the navigators in this space vessel. I don't know the name of the manga. Actually, I should. It would be on Memory Alpha. You can find it on there. Okay. And they ran everything about the ship and where it was going, so he thought he'd stick it in. And weirdly, now with Lower Decks, it has become canon, and it's odd, but it's fun.
I just have a goosebump. Yeah. Oh, I have a goosebump about another show now. I have a goosebump about Farscape.
Right. All right. Yeah. So for the obviously everyone here having watched it, what is your favorite episode?
Oh, that's difficult. I think it's going to be Invictus, the Mariner doing the movie. That's going to be my favorite because she just goes completely crazy and it's hilarious.
What do you think, Rob?
My two. That's in season 3. There's they have this. They have holodeck in the Star Trek world, and you can do whatever you want there, including nasty stuff. Sorry. So they. So one of the characters, they like Hollow movie, a movie running inside a holodeck. So this is way back in season 1. So they did an episode called Crisis Point. And in season 3, they did a sequel to that episode, Crisis Point 2. In season 3, oh man, it was fantastic. I love it. That was such a busy episode. It has everything, all the elements all jump up together, and the whole thing worked at the end. I love that episode. That's my favorite in season 3.
Yeah. That is a good one. I like the running gags for the whole series. So the koala, which has just been discovered all the way through the series. Like, have I been seeing things, or is that Nebula now a koala? It's clever what they've done. Just all these little seeds of little hints everywhere. Great fun.
I'm actually trying to see if I can find the Easter egg just now quickly. It takes a minute. There's a koala Easter egg.
Is there?
Yeah. No one has found it so far, as far as I know.
Right, everyone, down tools. We're looking for the koala.
Yeah, that's what's important. I love the way that they kind of bring back elements from like TOS and the next gen and even the animated series. So it's like pretty cool that what the doctor is a cat, which is a cat creature, which harkens back to the animated series. So, like,
yeah.
That,
and then Landrew apologizes.
Yes, I love that was actually my favorite moment of the whole show was the Landrew apologizing part. After that, my son who's 10, like we had to go do some watch. I was showing him some TOS episodes and I was like, "Hey, let's watch the TOS episode with Landrew." And he was he loved it because it's like, "Oh, wait, it's a computer," and they talked it out of they talked it crazy. That is really cool. We have a question from the audience that's somewhat related. It says, "Hi, RP5 when?"
We just know that information.
Well, Star Trek obviously by the time we make first contact, there will have been an RPI 5. I can say that with great
Pico
authority.
2.
Yes, and a Pico 2.
And there'd be no shortage because you can just replicate it.
But if anybody else here wants to guess, that we don't have any insider information, but if anybody else here wants to provide their educated guess as to when there will be a Raspberry Pi 5, go right ahead.
I think future sometime.
I think 20.
Sorry,
there you go.
You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think it'll happen next year. I think it'll happen 2023 because it will have been. I mean, obviously, shortages and stuff are holding things back, but it will have been like 4 years since the launch, so that's a long time. So, and weren't there about 4 years between the 3B and the 4?
Approximately, yeah. There's an interim model of 3B Plus came out.
Right.
I remember when the Pi 4 launched, it was very unexpected. It was like you woke up one morning and it was like, by the way, Pi 4. So
there won't be a lot of warning, I bet. But I mean, I would assume that they have been working on it. I would assume it will be called the Raspberry Pi 5, and I assume it will be faster. And I predict it will have a higher starting price than previous Pis. And I think it will have faster Wi-Fi and faster USB. Those are my big, and obviously a faster processor.
So do you think it'll have around too much because there's so many projects that could be just graduated if the ports are in the same place? I cut you off, Les.
It's okay. Do we think it'll have something extra special or something like NVMe or some sort of onboard eMMC? There's a lot of boards now which have onboard storage or have the slot to add it. It would be nice.
I don't think so, and I don't think it's not. Now we're getting off into highly theoretical stuff, but we've got a whole bunch of people here who like to use Raspberry Pis.
We are a Pi podcast, so
what Robin James would you like to see in a next generation Raspberry Pi?
Boom, link there. Yeah.
You go ahead, James.
LCARS.
I was gonna say Rob's never even seen a Raspberry Pi before we started talking, so he's not really.
That explains a lot of his face.
Really, yeah. Oh God, for me, I mean, I would like also to see some kind of storage in the onboard storage or NVMe for sure. I would expect at least the more cores, more RAM, and possibly like fully going into the 64-bit realm where that's possible. I'm not sure about the price point, to be honest. I think that there will always be a model that's going to be cheaper, or at least at the textbook prices. But then if textbooks are quite expensive, then maybe it will go up. But I would hope that it would maintain its lower price point and then have maybe an upgraded model like we have with Pi 4 right now, where we have got the 2 gigabyte, 4 gigabyte, and 8 gigabyte, and all different prices. I don't even know what the prices are at the moment, but I know that the 8's quite dear. At least in Germany,
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. No. Yeah. I mean, they're all really hard to get here. No question about it. I mean, I think it would. Yeah, and I think people want to have faster storage. eMMC has never been that fast. So, and you can get it already on the you can get it already.
Yeah. I mean, the boards like the
anyway.
Cadus have got the Cadus Vim 1 and the Edge 2 Pro. They've got eMMC, which is pretty fast.
I mean, but then you don't get the choice of what you want. I mean, you're probably better off just having an interface like either NVMe or, I mean, I don't know if anyone will actually do this, but like make the micro SD slot faster, because there are faster micro SD cards now. But I think the top speed is something like 50 mega, and we never get it. It's something like it can't go above like 50 megabytes a second for the micro SD cards. But there are like class 3 micro SD cards now that are rated for like 150 or whatever, but you won't get that speed. So
that would complement 64-bit use cases too. So
if they just made the slot a little, like the reader a little faster, that would probably help quite a bit. And then maybe gave you an NVMe slot, or you take the USB up to maybe USB 10 gigabit from USB 5, which you could do even with a Type A port now. So, that would be something. And then obviously I have no doubt it's going to be Wi-Fi 6. So
what about USB-C?
Yeah, I mean, that would be good. We have C as the charging. If they want to mess with the form factor, putting a C port, like replacing one of the A ports with a C port, I think would be good. Or 2 of the A ports with a C port. I don't think you need 4 A ports.
Same for the theoretical Pico 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's already happened though, because you can get an RP2040 with a C. It's just that it keeps the cost low to do micro USB. But speaking of boards, Les, you've been working with a special new board.
I have indeed, yes. So recently, Arduino announced their Make Your Own Uno kit, which I've been gratefully received the other day. Now, I haven't built it yet, and I say I haven't built it yet because I need to solder this, and perhaps you could use one of the best soldering irons I've reviewed. There's a link. So let's go overhead. You can see there is an Arduino Uno. This is actually my first Uno. It's a revision 2 from about a decade and a half ago, maybe about 14 years ago. Anyway, there it is. And in front of us now is the Uno kit. So you get it in a lovely little box, and it comes as a complete solder your own kit. And I find this fascinating because you've got the Arduino Uno form factor. So there we go. Let's turn it so you can see it. There we are.
Oh, wow.
And you have to solder everything. So there you go. You get a soldering iron and you get the parts inside the box and you make the Uno. So you start off by making this little kit here, which is a debug kit. It's a simple resistor, LED, and 2 wires. And all it's there for is to check your circuit. So if current is flowing through a circuit, you can attach the ground wire to a ground connection and then the red wire to wherever you want to test. And if the LED lights up, you know you've got a connection. It's working. It's almost like a multimeter in continuity mode. You then build your Arduino. So you solder it up, and it has USB-C, which is wonderful. Older Arduinos which have this big USB. Is it USB-A or USB-B?
Yeah, USB Type A.
There you go. Let's get that one
Okay,
confused.
that one is B. That's a B.
I just know it as printer connection.
The printer connection one is B, and then the one when you have it on a USB 3 type, then it's considered micro B.
That's it. So these ones are fantastic for security. So it holds in place and it's brilliant, but they're also massive. So USB-C has quite a nice retention as well, so it just solders on there. Again, you get all the parts inside the box, which is wonderful. You solder up the Arduino, you test it, and there you go. You have an Arduino you built yourself. Excellent. But it goes one step further. inside the kit is a shield. So shields are like Raspberry Pi hats. They fit on top of the board. And this shield is a mix of 6 potentiometers, so variable resistors, an amplifier, and it's there to make music. So it reads analog inputs and then spits out sound via this little speaker grill, and there's a speaker in the kit as well.
Oh, wow.
So you're making a whole instrument from this one little kit. I think it's fantastic. And I also like, let's switch to this here, and I'll just go to Edge so I can move it around. You've got a whole 3D rendered kit build instruction guide, which shows you where to put the resistors, what color resistors, because resistor color codes matter, and it guides you through the entire process. It's really nice that it's been done like that. You would normally just get a piece of paper that would say, here's where to solder something. So in fact, I have one which wasn't even planned this, but I've been doing some soldering iron testing recently. So you can see in the little screen there, that's a Velman soldering kit that I've got. It tells you that R1 goes here, R2 has this value, that sort of thing. But to have it all interactive on your phone, your tablet, your screen, whatever you want to use it on, is awesome. So I'm going to be building this kit and reviewing it for Tom's Hardware, and you can read about it very soon. But I'm impressed with it. And just as a quick aside, if you want to build the most minimum viable product for an Arduino, there it is. There's the bare ATmega 328 chip, a crystal, and then some coder programmed onto it, and it's just flashing an LED. But that will do the same as a normal Arduino. Bit of fun.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool. It reminds me of like if you used to get those Gundam kits back in the day, you'd have to pop all the pieces out.
Yeah,
and put it together.
again, that's what I like, because when you're soldering it now, you're soldering it as it is on the sprue. You're not breaking it off. It's only when you've built it you break it off, and it's great because you can then clamp it in something. So blue tack, modeling clay, or if you've got a soldering iron clamp, you've got it. It's nice, big, and chunky. There's no surface mount components on this to solder. It's all through hole. So it's good for younger or inexperienced solders.
Cool.
Oh, that is awesome. So, Ash, what projects are you working on this week?
Well, I thought, we had some special guests today, and I brought this as my little communicator from Cereal Box. There's not a pie in that, though. We've been playing around with the Galaxy Unicorn Matrix that Pomeroni sent us. And this isn't anything too elaborate, but I built my own LCARS display for the podcast today. It doesn't do anything. You can't touch it. But I drew this pixel by pixel, and I do have the code pulled up. It's not pretty, but it's functional. I'll show it to you. I'm not too afraid to show it to you. I've got it up on GitHub, but basically I have a section for each row, just each pixel one at a time, setting the color and telling it to turn on. And I drew it bit by bit, and so yeah, here's like my little fan art of what you guys put together. That's also running on a Pi. This is my Pi-powered LCARS system.
That is awesome.
Nice.
That is cool. James was mentioning about the LED display to me the other day of the possibility.
Yeah, you should totally do that. It's cool.
Can you make it animated? Can you make it moving, or just
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it'd be neat to have
Absolutely.
like, this section here have text change. Maybe you could put like the weather outside, the temperature or something, and you could connect it to. Les has connected his before to an RSS feed for Tom's Hardware, so you could have like article headlines go by and have this neat little UI interface looking around it. It'd be really cool.
What's the refresh rate? How fast can you get it? What's
it's like 300 frames per second. This one is higher than your average Matrix. And also you've got 4 buttons on the side. So it would be neat to maybe, I didn't do this, but if you hit a button, you could change it to something else. And there's a lot of potential when it comes to this particular Matrix. But
and you've got on the back go on, James.
I just, because I haven't looked at the Unicorn yet. Does that have Wi-Fi on it? No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It comes with a PCW.
PCW, mate. Yeah.
On it.
Well, did I just say that I connected a PicoW to the system?
Yes, you did, didn't you?
You did.
Yep.
And it's got
you did it before it was cool.
We've got a speaker and a QWSD.
That was
You can
awesome.
connect quite a bit to this if you wanted to get creative.
You could
with
also
sensors and stuff.
the Galactic Unicorn's got the Quest connections on the back, so you could hook up some sensors for gesture controls or something. So you don't have
it's
to
got the
touch it.
speaker for your
Speaker
red
as well.
alert. Yeah, you go wait, baby.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, that's something I forgot.
Ooh.
There is sound, which doesn't play at the moment because it's off. So it actually plays
Nice.
some sound.
That's nice.
Oh, nice.
So I do it on the phone because it's for the headphones and everything. It's more complicated to get the audio mixed. So, but yeah,
Right. That sounds so cool.
That's cool.
That is really, really cool.
It's immersive.
I have not done anything half as cool as you guys this week, but I did spend a lot of time putting together a RetroPie system with my son so we could play some video games on the TV, and try to get him and my 3-year-old playing Atari. They kind of liked adventure.
It's no Minecraft, is it?
No, they also kind of liked, we set up an Apple II emulator and played some Apple II games, which, it's kids are not as, if the story is good, they'll like the game.
Yeah.
That's things like
yeah.
stand the test of time. So
I
You said that was
actually
RetroPie
ended up
you
having to.
Oops, sorry, James.
I was going to say for my kids, I ended up having to build on a Raspberry Pi as well. Actually, build a Minecraft server so that we could all play together.
Yeah, we've done that. We don't have it up and running now, but we've done the Minecraft server because my son is big into Minecraft. So really cool. You guys are such a wonderful project. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you everybody else for watching and listening. We are here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. US Eastern time, and next week we'll be back with another very special guest, and I will either have grown hair or have a hat, and thank you guys so much, and we will see you all later.